The boy who spoke to the deep. In a sleepy coastal village where the tides whispered old secrets and seagulls laughed like ghosts, there lived a boy named Kyle. He was different, not in the way that makes you popular or feared, but in the kind that keeps you on the edge of being invisible. Kyle was born with a gift. He could hear the ocean speak, not the crashing of waves or the shifting of tides, but actual voices hidden deep within the blue. But no one believed him, not even his mother, who often dismissed his whispers as the ramblings of a lonely child. Kyle spent most of his time on the rocks by the old pier, talking to the sea. On the morning of his 12th birthday, he made a wish, a strange one, even for him. He knelt by the shoreline, his hands brushing the foam, and whispered, "I wish I had someone who really listened, someone who never left." That's when he met Lior. Lior wasn't like other fish. He shimmered gold and indigo, scales glinting like fractured starlight, and eyes deep as midnight. He rose from the water slowly, not flailing, not gasping, just watching. And then he spoke, not in words Cale had ever heard, but in thoughts that slipped between his ears and curled around his heart. "Hello." Cale froze. You talked?" "Yes," Lior replied simply. "You asked for someone who listens." And so began the friendship no one would ever believe. They met every dawn. While the world still slept and the salt breeze curled in silent spirals, Kyle would run barefoot to the rocks, and Lior would wait, half submerged in the tide pools. They talked of everything, what it meant to be human, to be fish, to be lonely, to be curious. Kyle taught Lior about clouds and books and how pancakes tasted on cold mornings. Lior spoke of trench cities, lightless caverns, songs made from whalebone flutes, and the ancient currents that remembered the shape of the earth before it broke. Months passed like tides, but the village grew wary. Fishermen noticed their catches thinning. Old sailors claimed something unnatural stirred in the reefs. And when Cole was caught whispering to the waves, rumors festered. Witches, they said, ocean demons, curses. Cole didn't care, until the night they came with nets. The villagers, led by fear and torches, marched to the shore. They claimed they'd seen the glowing fish, a devil, a lure. They cast nets into the dark sea. Kyle screamed, begged, cried, but they wouldn't stop. When they pulled the nets in, they caught nothing. But Lior didn't come back the next morning. Not that day, not the next, not the next week. Kyle stopped talking, stopped going to school, stopped smiling. He felt the sea had taken everything back, like a gift it regretted giving. One night, in the depth of despair, Cal ran into the ocean. He didn't plan to come back. The waves swallowed him. He sank, breath held until his lungs screamed. And then, arms of current wrapped around him. Darkness exploded into bioluminescence. 1,000 glowing creatures circled him, and from the center, Lear emerged. "You came," Cal gasped through half-conscious thoughts. "You called," Lear replied, voice etched in sorrow. "But you cannot live here." Cal cried in the deep. "Why did you leave me?" "Because your people feared what they didn't understand. I didn't want to make it worse." "Then take me with you." Lear looked at him long and slow, the way oceans watch shorelines. "If you come with me, you'll never be human again. You'll forget birthdays, forget books, forget pancakes. But will I forget you?" "No." "Then I'm ready." A glow erupted from Lior's chest, tendrils of light encircling Kyle. His skin tingled, lungs filled with something between breath and water. His legs merged, his heart shifted rhythm, and the world flipped. Kyle swam. He swam with Lior through trenches and coral cathedrals, through the bones of ancient leviathans and currents older than memory. He met creatures of light and sorrow, and learned the language of silence. But time does not pause for magic. On the surface, Kale's mother mourned. The village assumed the sea had claimed him as it did so many others. A small shrine stood on the rocks, flowers laid by the curious, the grieving, and the guilty. Years passed, but one day a girl stood by the rocks, whispering to the sea. A lonely girl. The tide brushed her toes, and something golden flickered below. A voice echoed in her thoughts. Hello,